Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to RemyFIT Radio, where you can learn my philosophies on health, performance, and lifestyle optimization that I have learned from the years of experience as a health and performance coach. I'm your host, Brandon Remy, and let's get into it. All right, guys, welcome back. We're here today talking about sleep. Sleep is one of the four pillars of performance, right? We have nutrition or food, sleep, movement, and mindset. And remember, they're not in any specific order. They're all equally as important. So the purpose of sleep, right, is the three R's of sleep: rest, recover, and rejuvenate, right? We're trying to, rest the body, right? We're up all day doing things. So we need some time off, right? We need to recover from all of that work that we've been doing, right? All the for our purpose, right, working out, performance enhancement, right, we do a lot to kind of hurt our bodies, right, to push ourselves to that next level of performance, right, of health, of whatever that you're after. So we do need some time to recover from that, right, and that's where sleep comes in. And so my little tagline for my sleep. So basically what I'm going to do right now real quick is I'm going to go over my philosophy board, right? My 023 philosophy board. So we're going down the sleep column. This is just specific to me. This is kind of what I believe in is the best practice for myself. Some of these things may transfer over directly to your lifestyle, and some of them might not at all. But you are an ongoing scientific experiment. Your life is a experiment. You're experimenting every single day with things that either make you better or make you worse, right? So my little tagline for sleep, right, my philosophy is sleep smarter, not longer, right? So my bigger philosophy, right, so that's just like a little breakdown to a tagline, right? The actual philosophy is I think that sleep is important. Right, you must sanitize your sleep environment and prioritize quality over quantity. Sleeping longer is not always better, right? So a lot of people, when we talk about sleep, right, we hear, how many hours did you get of sleep last night? And if you don't say the magic 8 or 7 to 9, right, that means you had a bad night's sleep. But as we're doing more research, in the world today, we kind of found out that's not really the case, right? Quality over quantity. So it doesn't mean if you get 8 hours of sleep, that means, you had a good night's sleep, because those 8 hours could have been shit. You could have been tossing, turning, waking up, going to the bathroom. And someone who got maybe 5 or 6 hours of sleep, but they slept through the whole night. They got deep into the REM sleep, and, it's more quality sleep right now. So that's like my philosophy, right? We want to sleep better, not always longer. And longer is not always better, right? So now how do I practice that? So I have 2 I do's and I have 2 of the I don'ts, or I do not. I'll start with the do nots or don'ts. I do not check my phone 30 minutes before bed or after waking up. So, before I'm going to bed, I'm not sitting on my phone, scrolling through Instagram, checking the DMs, none of that, right? My phone is actually off or on airplane mode and not anywhere within reaching distance. Ideally not in the same room that you're sleeping, but at least a socially distant 6 foot away. But on a serious note, keep your phone away from you. So once again, I don't check my phone 30 minutes before bed or after waking up, right? I give myself a little buffer between, sleeping and waking and getting stimulated with all that blue light. Next is I do not watch weeknight TV. And this goes for anything. It's not just TV, like Netflix, YouTube, like anything. I could not watch weeknight TV, but I could also sit on YouTube and watch just fucking hours of jiu-jitsu. It's the same thing, right? So I don't watch TV and I don't expose myself to those harsh blue lights right before bed. I try and think about winding myself down, right? From the morning to like, mid-afternoon to early evening, I'm winding myself up all day, right? Trying to get through, clients and work and this and that, right? I'm winding myself up. It's like a pre-workout, right? I'm getting myself amped up throughout the day, and then to go to sleep, I need to do the opposite. I need to wind down, right? And blue light is known to kind of wake you up and keep you up. So I do not expose myself to those harmful frequencies of light before bed, right? On the weekends, it's kind of, I never really watch TV. Like anyone who knows me, I don't even have a TV in my room. I haven't had a TV in my room since probably middle school or elementary school. It's just not something that I do. I don't watch TV. But like I said, I will watch jiu-jitsu videos or, YouTube things on like working out, nutrition. Like I will watch things like that, a lot of documentaries, but I try not to do it during the week, right? Because it just, it kind of ruins everything. You start watching TV and then, you get hooked, and then next thing you know, you're watching this video and that video, and, you fall down a rabbit hole. So I try to keep my, just my, like, I don't even know what to call it, just like my passing time. I try and keep that to the weekends. Now, what do I do? Like, how do I practice this? Right? I already told you what I don't do, but now what do I do? So I do use blue light blockers and screen protectors before sunrise and after sunset every single day. Doesn't matter if it's Monday, Wednesday, or Sunday, right? Weekdays or weekends, I use my blue light blockers every single day, right? This is a non-negotiable practice, right? This isn't something that's like, oh, I can get away with not doing it or doing it once or twice or 3 times a week. No. You need to do this shit every single day, right? On my computer, I use, what's it called? Flux. I think it's F.LUX. It's just like a computer program that you can download right onto your computer that will kind of mask the blue light. So, when the sun is down, so whether it's before sunrise or after sunset, your computer screen will turn warm. And what I mean by warm is like more with like an orangey red tint to it. Because once again, that's masking the blue light, right? Blue light is very cold and harsh, and we want a nice, warm, welcoming light for our eyes. So, F.LUX, like there are some other ones out there. It's just the one that I've downloaded. Actually, my new computer came with this shit built in. So shout out to fucking Acer, killing it with the blue light game. All right, so where are we? So yeah, so I like I said, I use my blue light blockers. I have like 4 or 5 fucking pairs of these things because I'm either constantly losing them or forgetting them or combination of both. So I'll always have 1 pair in my truck. I'll always have 1 pair in my room. I'll always have 1 pair in my my backpack, like for my, when I'm doing laptop work and writing programs and podcasting and stuff like that. And then I just have 2 floaters that kind of I kind of carry wherever. They're just like I find blue light glasses all over because like I said, I lose them, and then next thing I know, I find them. So it's good to have multiple pairs, especially if you're someone like me who's not very, I don't put shit down in the same place all the time. I don't know how people do that. I just put it down where I see an open spot. So the blue light blockers that I personally use, so I started off with just some cheap pair on Amazon. I think they're like $10-15, and I did notice a difference. Like when I used to coach at night, I would coach at Infinity Sports Performance, and they had like those big like stadium lights inside the building, And I'd be getting out of there sometimes like 9:30 at night, and you shut the lights off and you can still see like the ringing of the light. Like you still get that like white light flashes. And I noticed that ever since I started wearing those blue light blockers after when I was coaching at night, when I would shut the lights off to leave, I wouldn't get that white flashiness. So that right there just shows me that it's doing something. I then graduated to a friend of mine owns Anti-Blue. They're another great glasses company. They are a little bit more expensive than like what's on Amazon, but I feel like they're nicer. They look more aesthetically pleasing. They're not nearly as expensive as like Felix Gray or what's the other ones that are really good? I'm having a fucking brain fart right now. It'll come to me. Fuck, it's on the tip of my tongue. All right, I don't know. I'll come back to that. But anything. Raw Optics. That's it. RA Optics. OPTICS. Like I said, I like to support the Anti-Blue because it's a friend of mine. But I think that Raw Optics are the next best ones. And my reason for them is because they do a really, really, really good job on Instagram explaining, their product, why you should use their product, and how their product is really better than everything, not everything, but most other competitive blue light blockers. Like I said, their Instagram is solid content. Like, you will learn so much if you follow Raw Optics. There's another blue light blocker company that I just can't think of the name right now, but I'll put a link to all these in like the show notes and stuff. And then my last I do get 28 to 35 blocks of sleep per week. So if you have read the book Sleep by Dr. Nick Littlehales, you'll understand the blocks. If you haven't, I highly, 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 highly recommend reading that book. It has honestly changed my life. It's a great book about sleep, and it really does a wonderful job at explaining, they explain sleep in such a deep, understanding, but very simple terms. So you have this very solid understanding of sleep and why we do it and how everything works from a cellular level to a more broad spectrum, but it's very simple, right? So once again, this is kind of how I came up with my philosophy, right? This book is basically kind of wrote my philosophy for me, right? So sleeping longer is not always better. Right? Sleep smarter, not longer, right? This is all part of his book, Dr. Nick Littlehales. So he talks about blocks, right? We sleep in blocks. We don't sleep in hours. So if you look at a graph of your REM sleep, it's it's like waves, like a bell curve, right? So it goes up and down and up and down, right? And if you go from the trough to the next trough, or the crest to the next crest. So crest meaning the top of the wave, trough meaning the bottom U of the wave. If you go from one bottom to the next bottom, or one top to the next top, that's 90 minutes, right? It takes us 90 minutes to get into REM sleep. Well, to get in and back out of REM sleep. So 90-minute blocks, right? That is how we sleep. So he counts sleep in blocks, not hours. So next time somebody tells you you need to sleep 8 hours, you could basically tell them to go fuck themselves, because that's not true, right? That's not how we work. We're not a machine who sleeps in hours, right? Our biological clock works in blocks of 90 minutes. So now, how do I come up with this 28 to 35 blocks a week? Well, personally, I didn't come up with this. Nick Littlehales did. I just tried it, and it helped a lot. Like it got me on a sleep schedule where I was falling asleep and waking up at the same time every day. Now, I'll use my example. So if I wake up at 5 a.m., right, I'm going to count backwards. So hold on, let me actually back up a little bit. 28 to 35 blocks per week. That means you're getting 4 or 5 blocks of sleep per night. So now, how do you know when to fall asleep, when to wake up, all that good stuff, right? Most people just fall asleep and wake up. Whatever time it is, it is. So what you need to do is you need to pick the earliest that you're ever going to have to wake up. So, if one day a week you have to wake up at 5 and the rest of the days you wake up at 6, 5 a.m. is your new wake-up time because that one day is going to throw off the rest of the week, right? So, once again, we'll use my example of 5 a.m. If I'm getting up at 5 a.m., if I count back 4 blocks, that's 11 p.m. That means I'm going to sleep at 11 and I'm waking up at 5, right? If I count backwards 5 blocks, right, 5 90-minute blocks, that would be 9:30 p.m. So me personally, I fall asleep, or I try to get to sleep, either at 9:30 or 11 p.m. for me to wake up, rested and rejuvenated at 5 a.m. Now, it might seem a little weird, right, to say that I either go to bed at 9:30 or 11, because there's an hour and a half in between those two numbers. So the reasoning why you go to bed at either 9:30 or 11, and remember, this is just for a 5 a.m. wake up, so you have to do the math for yourself, is because of the REM sleep. So if you think about those curves, right, the bell curves again, the crests and the troughs, from one to the next is 90 minutes. So if you fall asleep halfway through your 90-minute block, that means 45 minutes is basically wasted, right? Because you're not going to sleep enough to get, you're not going to sleep enough, or you're not going to sleep long enough to get into REM sleep. So that means at the tail end, when you wake up, you're going to be midway through a block, right? But we don't want to do that. We want to wake up at the end of a block, not in the middle of one, right? So that's why I'm going to go to bed at 9, so that way I can get my full block from 9:30 to 11, and then so on and so forth till 5 a.m. Say I come home and it's 9:45. I missed my 9:30 block. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that next, say, 45 minutes for something, down regulatory, right? So down regulating my body, and B, something that has purpose, right? Something that's going to make me a better human being. So you can do a yoga flow, you can stretch, you can do mobility work like soft tissue massage with, say, anything like a Theragun or a lacrosse ball, or I like the Theracane, anything like that. You could do breathing exercises. You can draw. You could do something creative. You can read. Anything that is going to make you a better person, but that's not going to jack up your heart rate, right? We want to start to slow down our heart rate. We want to get into that parasympathetic, that rest and digest state of being. So that is why I'm not going to go rush right to bed, right? Because I'm going to waste time sleeping when I could be doing something that's going to further enhance my life. So I will do that until, if I have to go to bed at 11, we'll say 15 minutes, right? So at 10:45 is when I stop doing all that, and then I get ready and I go into bed, and I give myself about 15 minutes to drift peacefully into sleep. Right? I'm not trying to just fall asleep, with a flip of the switch, right? And I don't want to drag this out any longer than it has to be, because now I'm cutting into that next block of sleep. So the blocks of sleep are very, very important. And you'll notice once you start to do that, like the first 2 weeks is going to suck. It's going to be hard, because it's just not what you're used to. And, it's like anything. The first week of working out, the first week of wrestling practice, jiu-jitsu, it sucks because you're fucking sore. Everything hurts. It's like, do I really want to do this? just keep moving. 1% better every day. And then, so along with that, right, the, excuse me. Fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. I had something good to tell you guys. I don't know. All right, so that's the whole practice, right? I do my 2 I do's and my 2 I don'ts, or I do nots, right? That's my practice, right? Now my process is what is basically one thing that I do that makes my practice easier, right? So for me, my processes, right, are keeping my phone away from my bed, right, or not even in my room. So that would keep me off of my phone, right, which then would make my practice of not being on my phone 30 minutes before bed or after waking up a lot easier. I don't watch weeknight TV, right? My process, I just don't have a TV in my bedroom, right? That's going to make watching TV pretty difficult if you don't have one. All right, my blue light blockers and screen protectors, right? My process for that is that I have software. I can't talk today. My process is that I have software downloaded onto my computer, and I have multiple pairs of blue light blockers, right? So that's gonna make it's gonna make everything easier, right? I already have it downloaded on my computer. I don't have to re-download it every single time. I have 5 pairs of blue light blockers, so if I ever lose one, I just pick up another one, right? It makes everything easier. And then kind of what I just summed up before is I know that I need to be sleeping by 9:30 or 11 p.m. if I want to wake up at 5 a.m. Right? This is something that that's what I was going to say before is that so I was going to bed at say like 11 p.m., right? And I was waking up at 5 a.m. I felt good. I felt, fine. So I thought. And then I actually removed an hour and a half or 1 block from my night. And I felt amazing. So much better in the morning. So once again, it's not sleeping longer that's better. It's getting more quality sleep is better, right? So for me, it was actually sleeping less. Sleeping less made me feel better, right? That's totally counterintuitive, but when you get a better quality of sleep, you don't need to sleep as long. And that's basically it for my, my sleep column. I told you guys my philosophy, my practice, and my processes, right? How I do this to make my practice easier, which will then, make my philosophy come to life, come true. If I'm not aligning this entire column, it's not going to serve my purpose, right? I'm not going to get rest. I'm not going to recover and, rejuvenate my body because I'm not practicing what I'm preaching and my processes are not making my practice easy, right? So if you don't have a process set up, it's going to interfere with your practice, right? And if you don't have a practice, that means you're not practicing what you're preaching. So you're just walking the walk and you're not actually talking that talk. I'm sorry, you're talking that talk and not actually walking the walk. It would be nice to do the other way around, but yeah, so that's it, guys. Sleep. Get on a sleep schedule. Sanitize your sleep environment, right? Nothing that should be waking you up throughout the night. No lights, no phone, nothing. Pitch black. Get your asses to sleep. Peace. And that does it for another episode of RemyFIT Radio. Thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed listening, and if you think I can add any value to someone else, please like, share, and subscribe. If you would like to learn more or you are interested in my online lifestyle optimization course, head over to my website, www.remyfithp.com, and follow me on Instagram at @BRemyFIT.